The stream. What's up, everybody? Little bit of a late start today. Had some things come up, but we have got a new system to hit the 100K a month. We're going to be following Hormozi's framework to get. Give me just a second. Okay, there we go. I just wanted to make sure all of my lives were up. We're ready to go. But anyway, so basically, like I said, we're going to be using Hormozi's system. It's going to be the first step in his process to making 100K a month. And I'm just doing the first couple steps for now just because it's all that matters. But first step is to cut all costs. So no eating out, no new clothes, no travel. Second step will be save time. So for business owners, he recommended the 4-4-4. So 4 hours of promotion, 4 hours of delivery, and 4 hours of working on the business. So building the business. So that's what I'm going to be doing. So we're starting our first 4 hours of promotion right now. So we are going to have a late night tonight to finish everything up, but I'm not worried about that necessarily. You know, I'm a young guy. I'll be fine with little sleep. So fixing to start the stopwatch on my phone, stick everything on do not disturb, and crush it. Here we go. Okay, here we go. Okay, here we go. Let's see. Where are we at?
Hey, Landon.
Yes, sir. How are you?
Good. How are you?
Oh, I'm doing pretty good. I just saw your message from earlier. Wanted to kind of get a little bit of clarity. So you said that we would have to be in the 60s to kind of get something done. Um, the 45, is that not going to be enough to cover their mortgage and stuff? I'd seen it's in pre-foreclosure and all that. So what's kind of the situation there?
Yeah, we're not even under contract with the seller. Um, for I'd have to look, but I think we're under contract with the seller in the mid or low 60s.
Mm-hmm. Oh, so you're wholesaling this?
Yes, correct. Yeah,
Okay,
we
got
have
it.
an
I
underlying
misunderstood.
contract. Yeah, yeah.
Okay.
Oh, sorry. I'm honestly, that might have been miscommunication on my end, not clarifying that. But yeah, it's an assignable contract, underlying contract that we have with the seller.
Okay. Yeah, I totally understand. I mean, honestly, it probably won't be the best fit for us then because there's a chance. I mean, not to have to talk to the team. We do have a couple of new builds going on in Tampa, but with what we have going on, we might have just wholesaled that ourselves. So,
Hmm.
you know what I mean. If you're already wholesaling this, I may just go ahead and pass, and hopefully you can find a buyer for it, because I don't think we could buy it at this point for ourselves just because of the projects we have going on. So.
Yeah, no, that makes sense. And yeah, I'm still gonna see about renegotiating. Maybe we can get this down and make it work for you guys. I'd rather not pass up on an opportunity to work together. So I'll in the meantime see what I can do on my end and reach out. But yeah, with it being a wholesale deal and what we're currently under contract price for, I don't know if this is feasible, but like I
Okay.
said, I'll see what I can do to make it happen.
Okay. And I mean, I appreciate you being so willing to work with us. Here's what I can do. Usually we don't want to daisy chain anything. So we
Hmm.
can do one of two things. I can connect you with Manny, who's our wholesale guy, and we can JV on this and we can find a buyer for it. Or we could just go under contract ourselves and then just pay you an agreed upon commission, which would basically be your wholesale fee, but it'd really be kind of a commission, if that makes sense, since we'd be under contract.
Yeah, no, that makes complete sense. And I'm always one for just being transparent and seeing if there's any alternative ways to make the deal work and work together. So I'm definitely open to that.
Okay. Cool. Well, let me know how that goes, and what you want to do as far as like whether you want to stay under contract and us try to help you sell it, or if you want to just hand it off if you think they will be willing to do 45 or so. Because I mean, I'll be totally transparent with you. We're thinking we could the max price we could offer is like maybe 50,000, maybe 55 if we want to push it, but like 55 I'm not 100% sure we could close, and especially if they're in pre-foreclosure, we don't want to put them in that position, if that makes sense.
Yeah, no, it does. And you guys still need to make a fee on top of it. So that I think me and you are on the same page.
Mm-hmm.
And even if a referral fee, however we be paid out, you guys get it under contract. I'm open to all of that. Just being honest, besides this guy we're waiting to hear back on Wire, we've kind of exhausted all our resources and kind of getting to that point where we either need to renegotiate or move on and make a decision. But yeah, I'll talk to seller and kind of get an idea of what's going on with this other guy, see what our options are, and then if we can make this work out, pass on to you guys. I'm more than happy to do that.
Okay. And does the seller know you're wholesaling it, or are you just positioning yourself as a buyer in this situation?
No, are you familiar with New Western?
Yeah.
Yeah, so that's how I got started into the wholesaling, which they would do a lot. I don't do that. If we're wholesaling it and don't plan on closing it, I just let them know that.
Okay.
Some properties that we'll kind of cherry pick. If we can wholesale it, great. If we can't, we'll close on it and flip it ourselves, or just turn around and list it. So yeah, after my experience at New Western, I try to do it a little differently than they do. I just don't find the need to lead people on. I've just seen too many people get into bad situations, already start moving, et cetera, thinking that it was closing, and then
Yeah.
for whatever reason, property gets dropped.
Exactly. Yep. I'm with you on that. We do our best to be transparent. I'll be honest with you. We don't always outright tell the agents that we're wholesaling, but we always tell them that there's a good possibility that we do, especially since most of our projects are in Tampa, St. Petersburg. So like in those situations, like if they're moving out, we always tell them to wait until after inspection, and that we've confirmed that we're good to go. So.
And same thing with the agents, that's a little bit different, but in terms when it's direct to seller, there's no other agent involved. I found it a lot easier. I sleep better too, just being fully transparent with them.
Yeah. Well, no, I appreciate you letting me know. That makes a lot of sense now. So just let me know how that goes, and if you're open to letting us go under contract, we would just have to be all in. I mean, I can contact Daniel, tell him the situation. He's our head underwriter, and see what he thinks we can be all in at, and then we can just, give you an all in number, and then we'll just see, how much commission we can pay, and then how much we can get the seller, and see if we can get something done. Because like I said, I just don't want to be in a situation where we can't close. So especially given
I got you. Yep. And let me touch base with the seller. See what's going on with this other guy first. I'll get back to you. And honestly, man, worst case scenario, if we have to get out of contract, in order like a sign of good faith and wanting to work together, it's not a big fee or anything. I'll just let you know, hey, we're out of contract, and if you just want to pursue it, it's all public information, as you know. So if you want to reach out and go after it, by all means.
No, I'm happy to use you. We don't have to be in direct contact with the seller. Like I'm looking to work with. I mean, just being totally transparent, our whole business model works off relationships with agents. So, I mean, I'm happy to go through you if if you still have good standing with the seller.
Yeah, no, of course. And I was more so thinking, like, if it comes down to a couple $1,000, sellers being stubborn, and you guys, let's say, are at 55, I'm fine stepping aside and kind of just passing the reins on to you. But that's speculation.
Yeah.
We do have good rapport, so I will definitely speak to the seller and get some updates regarding this other buyer, and kind of let you know where we stand and see if we can make it happen.
Yeah. And worst case scenario is we just pay you a smaller fee. Like, ultimately, if it means us making less, we're still willing to pay you a fee. It's just, I mean, we can't, just being honest with you, if we can only make $2-3 grand, it's not even worth us moving forward, if that makes sense. But if we can make 5 or 10, it is worth it at that point.
That's kind of where I was coming from too. And at this point, it was just trying to be able to prevent this from going to foreclosure. Even if we get cut out, it's not a big deal for me. I'd rather just see it get closed out and not foreclosed on. Because, being that you guys have so much on your plate right now as far as projects, and this would be a wholesale deal for you, the numbers, I'm not gonna lie, the numbers are pretty tight. So
yeah.
Name of the game, like I said, is just making it happen. And I know it will all come full circle, and I'm happy to do that if it establishes a relationship and we can work together. Because, like you said, it's only a couple grand, not a big deal. But yeah, I will, I'll get some updates this afternoon, and then I'll touch base with you and be able to fill you in and kind of give you an idea of where we stand.
Okay, that's totally fine. And just curious, I wanted to get some information from you. What's the feedback been so far from the buyers that you've marketed it to? Because that'll help Daniel. Because Daniel's super accurate, especially with off-market stuff. But I just want to make sure we have all the info we can. That way, in case we can come up.
Yeah. So the vacant lot sales in that area I've seen recently. I have seen, I think there's 2 at 70K, and we've been pitching it. Well, we're 500 square feet bigger. Mm-hmm. No buyers have really been like, oh, well, that's, haven't really batted an eye on the lot square footage being 500 square feet bigger. The oak tree has also been some kickback we've been getting. The cost to remove that, and the whole permitting and arborists getting involved, with the city, because I think where that's situated on the lot, it's definitely going to have to be removed. So we've had people saying, oh, oak tree that age, it's going to be an issue. I'd say the oak tree's been the biggest kickback we've had so far.
Okay, makes sense. And I'll be honest with you. The way we ran our numbers is we did see the lots selling in the 70s, but there's not as much new build activity, and there's a lot of it's just a lower activity area. So we took off 10% for that. So we'd probably send this out at 60, maybe 65 max, is what we're thinking. Do you think it would sell at that price, or?
I think. I think it's going to fall in that 60 to 65 range.
Okay.
I truly do. Honestly, probably closer to like 60, 62.
Okay. Well, I'll let Daniel know that because that's going to be helpful for us. That way we can actually give an all-in number and make sure that it does sell. And if the seller is kind of iffy about taking that offer, I mean, first, I assume that this will cover the 60 or the, if we're all in at 50,000 or 55, would that cover what they needed or as far as
Yeah.
their debt?
Yep.
Okay. Well, I mean, if we can just show them, like, it doesn't sound like this buyer is going to work out. If we can just show them that, we can cover what they needed, we can guarantee closing, then maybe we can get it done,
Yeah.
So,
Yep. No, we're on the same page.
cool. Awesome. Well, sounds like a plan. I'll ping Daniel on this one, let him know the buyer feedback, and then I'll get you an all-in number. In the meantime, just keep me updated on this. I just want to stay on top of the ball, so as soon as anything concrete happens, then we can make our offer and move forward. So
Awesome. And what company are you with?
Easy Res, John and
Easy Res?
Helena. I don't know if you know them.
Do you guys have actually? Yeah, it sounds very familiar.
I figured
you
you
guys
worked with us
currently-
before, probably.
Yeah, I think years ago. Separate, a little off topic. Do you guys currently have any single family deals that you're wholesaling?
Under contract right now, I'd have to check with Helena. I think we've got a couple on the JV side, working with other wholesalers that we're selling, and then we've got one or two active contracts with our direct-to-agent team.
Okay. I do have investors that are currently looking. Honestly, they're just trying to park some money somewhere and keep, the crews busy, make a little bit of money. And, single family block, Pinellas, Hillsborough, Pasco. Yeah, so anything you have that you think might work, send my way. And also, personally, I had two flips. One is pending, one's active. We're kind of going back and forth on offers, but we should be closing on one, I think, next week. So I'll be in the market, looking for the next project as well.
Okay. And what's kind of your buy box?
Block, no flood zone. I say this every time. I'd like to stick to something more cosmetic and less extensive on the.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Cool. Yeah, I just took note of that. I'll send your information to Helena to put you on our buyers list. Just that way, if we have something, we'll blast it out. And then if something we blast out, a specific buyer for, then feel free to reach out to her on that as well. I think that'll be the best way to kind of work that, if that makes sense. Yeah. Yep. Okay. Cool. Yeah, sounds good. And do you do much listing, or what's kind of, are you just mainly on the wholesale side right now? Hmm. And you're on all sides of it then. Dude. Hmm. Yeah. Yeah. Hmm. Yeah, I can imagine you would get spread thin, but sounds like you need some help. Hmm. Yeah. Hmm. Yeah, I understand. Yeah. Well, that's pretty sick. I love it. Maybe, I mean, maybe you seem like you know what you're doing. Maybe we can work out something a little more long term. Obviously, I'd rather do a deal with you first just to make sure everything goes smooth. But we do have like a VIP agent program that we're rolling out. I'm just aware that we're basically agents go to investor. And usually, like, we'll just tell them exactly like how much we're looking to make, just super transparent, and then basically get them paid, a portion of the assignment fee based off how many deals we do together. So I don't know how much you wholesale or like what your system is like, but maybe we could look at that in the future as well. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. I mean, honestly, that makes sense. That's kind of why I brought it up because, I mean, if we can come up with an efficient system for the leads that you do get that need to be a wholesale deal, maybe we can come up with a system where we wholesale them out and just pay you a portion of that assignment fee, where you're not having to dial buyers and all of that while trying to manage your listings, your new build, and your flips. I mean, it's totally fine either way. Do whatever you want to do. I mean, it just sounds like in this situation, it might be a fit, and you know what you're talking about clearly. Some of these people I talk to, they don't have a clue what's going on. Um, but I mean, just being totally transparent, like I think our average fee for this year for off market's like 20K. So we get pretty good deals done. Dude. Hmm. Yeah. Well, I think eventually just being totally transparent, and I don't understand. I haven't went through the full VIP agent like pathway because we haven't completely finished it yet. But basically, we're just going to try to make an incentive structure where the more deals we do together, the more that you get paid as an agent, just to make it beneficial for both parties, if that makes sense. So no, no, I'm not licensed. I'm just honestly, I got started as a traditional fix and flipper at 18, and then I found out about wholesaling a couple years later, and I was like, this is interesting, and then started working with John and Helena. Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's like, wait, I don't have to take on debt and take on all the responsibility of the property? Wait a second. Yeah. Well, I do see that it's helpful. I mean, at first I was like, man, that like I don't know if this is ethical, but then as I dig into it and listen to Jerry Norton and stuff, he talks about how that having wholesalers does make the prices more competitive because there's just more people offering, which I think is good for sellers. Because if people quit wholesaling, I mean, I'm gonna be the only guy offering, and I'm gonna get a good price on that. You know what I mean? Yeah, exactly. Well, you're in it. Real estate's like that. It's interesting. I'm actually thinking about doing some more flips as well. I know a private money lender. Just full transparency here. We work only in Florida and Georgia for our wholesale operation, but I'm based out of Oklahoma, and I actually have a private money lender, local investor that will basically lend on anything with me, as long as he thinks it's a good deal. So I'm thinking about starting that on the side too, along with the wholesaling and the acquisition stuff. Just to, I mean, I know contractors and stuff, and it's like I know how to find deals. Why not just take on 5 extra phone calls a day and make a little more money? you know? Well, I'll be honest with you. He's a pretty. He's not gonna loan to. The only reason why he lends to me is because he's worked with my dad for like 30 years. So he doesn't lend money to very many people. So I kind of got lucky in that aspect, um, with the family that I was born into because my dad's been an investor basically since he was 20 as well. And he's worked alongside that guy, and that guy's been kind of like his mentor. So I kind of got a little bit of an easy win there, if that makes sense. He's not really like he's not going to be lending to random people. I think I'm like maybe one of five people he'll lend money to, if that makes sense. Mm-hmm. Yeah, 100%. But anyway, well, I'll get off here. I don't want to take all your time, but just keep me updated on the situation. We'll figure something out. Hopefully, we can get the seller to get down to a price that makes sense for everyone. You know, we'll see, I guess. Do the best we can. Yep, sounds good. I appreciate it, John. Yep, thank you. All right, bye bye. That was a long convo. That was wild. Great VIP, though. Let's see. What are we doing? Whew. I can feel the caffeine kicking in for my histamine intolerance. This is not good. Maybe I need to stop.
Is that a sweat stain?
Nah, it's just shadows. Like, no way I'm sweating. It's wild. Anyway. Okay. just want to make sure that we're properly negotiating this one. Dude. Okay, sick. Alright. So we're actually 33 minutes in. I need to respond to some messages here in a second. What do we do here? So, I need to follow up with Chelsea. Also need to add those to the board, and I also need to use the restroom. So it's like, which do I do? I think I got to use the restroom first, then add those properties to the board, and then follow up with Chelsea. I think that's going to be the order of operations here. I'll be right back. Let's see what John said. I'll be right back. I gotta use the restroom.